Welcome to German History with a German accent. My name is still Wolf, W-O-L-F, just like the animal, and in today's video I'm speaking about Rudolf Schmidt. As always, if you enjoy these videos, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to drop me a comment below. Rudolf Schmidt was born on May 12, 1886 in Berlin, a son of Rudolf Schmidt Senior and his wife Johanna Elisabeth Friederike Udine Schmidt. Rudolf Schmidt had also one younger brother named Hans Thilo. At the age of 20, Rudolf Schmidt joined the Prussian army, ranked as a Fahnenjunker, which is an officer cadet rank. The young officer served in the Telegraph Battalion prior to the First World War. With the beginning of the war, he served in a telephone unit at the Eastern Theater. In October 1915, Schmidt was transferred into a staff position at the Army High Command 12. In April of the following year, he was transferred to the Western Theater, holding the position of leader of the Telephone Guard Corps for about 1 year. He then underwent an improvised General Staff Officer training, which he completed successfully. He experienced the end of the First World War as a staff officer in the 4th Army, holding the rank of Hauptmann, corresponding to the rank of captain in the US Army. During the war, he earned both classes of the Iron Cross. Rudolf Schmidt was kept on in the Reichswehr, where he held both troop commands as well as postings in the Reichswehr Ministry. By October 1933, he was already holding the rank of Oberst, equal to the rank of colonel in the United States Army. After the National Socialists took over the power in Germany, Rudolf Schmidt continued to hold both troop and staff commands. In 1935, he served in the staff of the Oberkommando des Heeres, Supreme Army Command, where he was involved in solving key transport and supply questions. He was also one of the officers who spent a lot of thoughts about the mechanization of the German army. In October 1937, he took over the command of the 1st Panzer Division, ranked as a Generalmajor corresponding to the rank of Brigadier General in the US Army. With the 1st Panzer Division, Schmidt participated in the occupation of the Sudetenland in the year 1938. In the following year, now Generalleutnant Schmidt participated in the Poland campaign as part of the 16th Army Corps motorized under the command of Erich Höppner. This corps was tasked to advance towards Warsaw. Rudolf Schmidt's division was assigned to cover the southern flank of this advance. In February 1940, Rudolf Schmidt was transferred to the Western Theater, taking over the command of the newly formed 39th Army Corps motorized. The corps fought against the fortress of Holland. 2 days into the battle, he accepted the surrender of Rotterdam and was unable to stop a previously ordered airstrike against the city. During the campaign, Schmidt's corps was transferred to the Panzer Group Guderian, advancing during Case Red through France all the way to the Swiss border within a couple days. During the campaign, he was promoted to the rank of General der Panzertruppe and was awarded the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross. General der Panzertruppe corresponded to the rank of Lieutenant General in the US Army. Before Schmidt participated in Operation Barbarossa from the years 1941 until 1943, his corps was one of 2 that were selected to conduct the conquest of Gibraltar. This mission was cancelled since the Spanish dictator, Francisco Franco, withdrew his permission for the German troops to march through his country. In the Soviet campaign, Rudolf Schmidt's Army Corps participated as part of Panzer Group 3 under the command of Army Group Center. Schmidt received the oak leaves to his Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross in July 1941 after some of his divisions advanced as far as Vitebsk. His units also participated in the encirclement battle at Smolensk, where the Red Army lost about 750,000 men who either fell or became German prisoners of war. Schmidt's corps was then transferred to the command of Army Group North, where it advanced towards Tichwin and conquered said city in November 1941. This victory completely depleted the corps, which was already exhausted. Rudolf Schmidt reported this situation of his corps multiple times and even complained with the Supreme Army Command. By the end of the month, he was transferred to take over command of the Second Army with an army group center, still advancing towards Moscow. When the Red Army achieved deep breakthroughs at the front lines during the Soviet Winter Offensive in December 1941, Rudolf Schmidt ordered the withdrawal of his troops against the Führer's orders. Other than Heinz Guderian or Erich Höppner, Schmidt had not been removed from his command, but instead took over Guderian's 2nd Panzer Army and was promoted to the rank of Generaloberst on January 1, 1942. It was also Rudolf Schmidt who recommended an encirclement of the Red Army at the Kursk salient in the year 1943. Generaloberst Rudolf Schmidt was one of the German officers protesting the treatment of the Soviet civilians during the Second World War, including the treatments of the commissars and prisoners of war. He wrote essays to the Supreme Army Command trying to convince them of the advantages that would come with a better treatment. He believed that the civilians would be more likely to support the Wehrmacht if their outlook had been better. He also hoped that the German prisoners of war in the Soviet Union would be treated better. Once Schmidt had to deal with partisan activity under his command, he recognized that for 58 German casualties, more than 1,500 partisans had been executed. This circumstance led to a clarification of his orders, where he stated that partisans had to be treated harshly, but that there is a difference between partisans and civilians. For the NS regime critical statements, he criticized Hitler's military leadership, for example, and the arrest of his brother, Hans Thilo, who had been given material to the French intelligence service since the year 1931. Said material helped the Allies to break through the Enigma code later. Caused Rudolf Schmidt to be relieved of his command in April 1943. He was arrested and interrogated before he was kicked out of the Wehrmacht in September 1943, but not imprisoned. In November of the following year, he started his own company, Rheinbeton, and experienced the end of the war in Weimar, which would become part of the Soviet-occupied zone of Germany. Only 3 months later, he moved to the free city of West Berlin to rebuild his company. In December 1947, Rudolf Schmidt was arrested in the Soviet-occupied zone after he traveled to Weimar, and ultimately he was brought to Moscow, where he was questioned about his leadership of the Second Army during the Second World War and his orders against partisans and the deportation of civilians. In the year 1952, he was sentenced to 25 years of forced labor and returned as one of the last prisoners of war on September 30th, in the year 1955, to the Federal Republic of Germany. He died in Krefeld on April 7th, the year 1957, at the age of 70. Thank you so much for watching.